Kiznaiver is one of those anime that takes a bold premise and runs with it, blending emotional drama with sci-fi elements and striking visuals. Directed by Hiroshi Kobayashi and written by Mari Okada, the series explores the idea of shared pain, both physical and emotional, through a group of teenagers connected by a mysterious experiment. With Studio Trigger's signature style and an introspective look at human relationships, Kiznaiver delivers a unique experience that resonates differently depending on how much you connect with its themes, but does it hold up beyond its concept? Kiznaiver follows a group of 7 teenagers who are forced into an experimental program that connects their pain through a system called the Kiznaiver system. This system, intended to foster world peace by allowing people to share each other's suffering, pushes the characters into emotionally intense situations as they navigate their past traumas and relationships. The anime was produced by Studio Trigger, known for their distinctive animation style and previous works like Kill la Kill and Little Witch Academia. The series was directed by Hiroshi Kobayashi, making his directorial debut. He had previously worked as an assistant director on Kill la Kill. The script was written by Mari Okada, a well-known writer in the anime industry, famous for emotionally charged stories like Anohana, The Flower We Saw That Day, and The Anthem of the Heart. Kiznaiver blends elements of character-driven drama with Trigger's signature visual style. The series draws inspiration from classic coming-of-age narratives and psychological character studies. The Kiznaiver system itself serves as a metaphor for empathy and communication in relationships, not being afraid to show both the benefits and burdens of truly understanding each other's emotions. While Studio Trigger's signature style is toned down for Kiznaiver, it still stands out with sharp expressive character designs and vibrant color palettes. It's tasteful and adds to the scene when called upon. The use of lighting and color correlates to the mood currently being expressed on screen. There's a degree of intentionality there I appreciate, and in this more interpersonal relationship-focused show it works very well. The character designs, crafted by Shiro Miwa, are sleek and distinct. Something I enjoy about the show is that regardless of how soft the character designs are, everyone looks different and their personality is expressed through their style. As there's the versatility of style, there's also a wide variety of backgrounds and settings. While the characters are classmates, there's a lot of detailed urban settings and even abstract visuals. The animation itself fluidly shifts between dramatic close-ups, exaggerated expressions, and dynamic action sequences, effectively conveying the show's emotional highs and lows. There are a lot of scenes that are conversation-based, but interspliced within them are little visual gags or physical interactions, with often over-the-top physics or fluidity to them. So it's not like you are staring at a slideshow or anything like that. It's pretty engaging even for the moments that are more serious or act as downtime from important moments. While there are definitely instances where the show could look like any number of other shows, a vast majority of it is easily identifiable as a Trigger production, and if you like that style aesthetically, you'll definitely enjoy this. While I like plenty from the studio, it's not my preferred or nostalgic aesthetic of choice, but in the show particularly, I think that it was really well balanced. So maybe even if it isn't your cup of tea, you might still enjoy it. The opening song, Lay Your Hands on Me, is a striking and emotional track, perfectly capturing the anime's themes of shared pain and human connection. It's performed by Boom Boom Satellites, who made a couple of my favorite songs. However, the track carries even more weight because it marks the last song produced by the duo. Michiyuki Kawashima, the band's guitarist and vocalist, had been battling brain tumors for years and passed away just months after Kiznaiver aired at the age of 47. This tragic loss lends the song an undeniable depth, which enhances the anime's exploration of emotional vulnerability. Kawashima's final work resonates deeply within the context of the show. The music itself, with its blend of electronic and rock influences, amplifies the raw energy and emotional weight of the show, making it a perfect support to the vivid, psychedelic opening sequence. Each of the featured characters in Kiznaiver experience their own personal growth and development, though to varying extents. Katsuhiro and Noriko, being the main characters, are given the most exploration, but several of the supporting characters also have compelling arcs. One of my favorites is the 2-episode arc centered around Hanuka Maki. Initially, she presents herself as cold and collected, yet she's far from it. Between her forced advances on another character and the cliffhanger revelation of a secret in episode 1, there was always something off about her. However, it's difficult to sympathize with her at first, as we don't fully understand her past. As we learn more about her and her relationship with Ruru, we begin to see the complex emotional landscape that Hanuka has developed. The crux of Hanuka's story is her complicated relationship with her friend who had a terminal illness. The two of them had mutual feelings for each other, but Hanuka pushed her friend away in order to avoid the pain of losing her. Ruru completes the manga they were working on together, but Hanuka never reads the final chapter. Later, the character she previously forced herself onto puts the pieces together and encourages Hanukkah to read it. The manga conveys a message of understanding and love. At the end of the episodes, Hanukkah stands in the same spot from an earlier flashback, in the rain, crying as she quietly says, "Me too," essentially returning the love she had held back. The moment is filled with sincerity, and while it could be seen as melodramatic, I appreciate the emotional depth of the storytelling. The scenario might not be universal, but it raises interesting ethical questions about self-preservation versus emotional honesty and the struggle to move forward without avoiding pain. Yoshiharu Hisamu is another standout character in Kiznaiver. On the surface, he seems to fit the mold of a traditionally attractive person, but his masochistic tendencies, expressed through bandages, torn clothes, and self-inflicted wounds, paint him as an oddity. He's basically rot-maxing, intentionally destroying his appearance and well-being despite being objectively attractive. His introduction leans heavily into comedic gags, where his bizarre behavior and the reactions of the other characters provide much of the humor. But beneath this, his character serves as an important counterpoint to the main theme of Kiznaiver's utopian vision. He represents the flaws inherent in trying to create a forced, superficial connection between people. While others struggle with their emotions or build relationships based on expectations, Hisamu is a walking contradiction, simultaneously detached from societal norms and yet strangely vulnerable in his own way. His masochism doesn't make him a bad person, and his behavior, while odd, isn't driven by malice. In fact, his eccentricities challenge the assumptions of what it means to be connected, making him a key figure in illustrating the complexities of human relationships in a world that values conformity. Even the most unconventional characters are deserving of understanding, even if their actions don't always align with societal norms. I was recently rereading The Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, and the focus on emotion and empathy in the book was something that got me into sci-fi to begin with, so it was interesting that I watched Kiznaiver around the same time. Even though characters without a lot of expression aren't typically good, I think our main character here works well. Even beyond the interpersonal relationships in the show, the side of the government and the employees working on the project is just as fascinating. While you go over the history of it in a slideshow to the characters during one of the episodes, the project now is obviously not what it was in the past, so they are indisputably evil or clearly antagonistic in that they are forcing people into this program regardless of their consent. However, there are disputes between people within the program and how to care for and approach the subjects, as well as an attitude shift or at least a twisted parental care for them, particularly for Noriko. Even the aspects of the show that are not completely explored raise interesting questions or pose these very blurred lines of ethics and responsibility. So even if you don't care about the interpersonal relationships or exploration of emotion, there is an ongoing commentary of the concept of utopia, what people are willing to do for happiness, and also this commodification of understanding in a society fueled by capital. Kiznaiver is an underrated gem, especially considering when it came out and the studio behind it. The writing is solid, with a focus on subjects that set it apart from pretty much anything else at the time. It explores complex ideas around utopia, government corruption, and the ethical lines people are willing to cross for the sake of happiness and connection. The show's unique perspective and the way it blends psychological and societal commentary give it a layer of depth that's hard to find in other anime. It's not just about the emotional journeys of the characters, but also about the larger questions the world presents them. If you're looking for something that goes beyond the usual tropes and leaves you thinking about society, it's definitely worth checking out. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm curious what you guys have to say. What did you enjoy about Kiznaiver, and if you didn't like it, what did you dislike? Also, why don't you think the show is as talked about as some of its contemporaries? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one.